HBO breaks all the rules. How? We're launching a new season of Dream On in winter.
You know you're right. I am Eddie Charles. Over the years, Martin has never held back on giving me advice.
Why don't I just have my groceries delivered directly to you?
But this year, I want to be a big brother to him. Frankly, I'm the one who understands him most. When I don't want to make a commitment, it's because I'm a dick. When you don't want to make a commitment, it's because you're hung up on your ex-wife. That makes you an asshole. This new year is gonna be great.
Watch a brand new season of Dream On, one half of the best hour of comedy on TV. Wednesdays, premiering January 19th on HBO.
Next on HBO 2. It's tight ends, big skins, and end zones with Len, Nick, and Chris. They bring you football from the gut, play-by-play, inside the NFL. Next on HBO 2.
Okay, it's funny. It's for charity. It's got really big stars. It's easy to remember. Listen to this, HBO, January 15th, 9 p.m. I don't know, there's no downside here.
It's today's hottest names in the year's biggest comedy event as Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg, and Robin Williams host Comic Relief 6, live Saturday, January 15th on HBO.
It's perfect. Hey now.
This week on Inside the NFL, we're in New York City to preview the decisive NFC East collision between the Cowboys and Giants. Among those joining us from Giant Stadium, New York quarterback Phil Simms and head coach Dan Reeves. And from Dallas, Texas, Cowboys quarterback Troy Aikman and head coach Jimmy Johnson. And on this week's cover story, the vindication of Carlton Bailey, the ex-Bill who remembers his hostile New York greeting.
And all of them were at the beginning, I think, was really writing a lot of bad things about me. This guy's a bust. I don't know why they went out and spent all this money on this guy, but I've learned to persevere through.
Also, we'll show you the tough and the foolhardy who defied December's Arctic air.
Hey, is anyone cold?
Giant Stadium, the site of this Sunday's showdown. It's the show the pros watch, Inside the NFL. And now, braving the frosty air, your hosts, Len Dawson, Nick Bonacani, and Chris Collinsworth.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's show. Chris, Nick, and I are coming at you from Giant Stadium. I should say a frosty Giant Stadium. I'm going to see if you can hang out here for an hour during the show, big fella. We're going to be previewing this game. Not only will it determine the champion of the NFC Eastern Division, but also the winner will get a bye and also enjoy home field advantage. So, Chris, big game.
It's a big game indeed, but I think it's a bigger game for the Giants than it is for the Dallas Cowboys. You get the feeling that the Cowboys could probably go on the road, win a couple of playoff games, and still make it to Atlanta in the Super Bowl. But I don't know about the Giants with their one-dimensional offense. I have a hard time seeing them going on the road to Dallas or San Francisco and winning a warm weather game.
Chris, everybody's billing this as the game of the year, but the question I have, are the Giants really playing at the level of the Cowboys? If you look at the Giants' 11 wins, only one of them against a team with a winning record, the now hapless Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, the Giants have 4 losses, 3 of them against teams with winning records. You got the Jets, the Bills, and the Cowboys. The problem is they went to Phoenix, where they had lost 9 games and got beat last week. That's not the way they wanted to play coming into this contest against the Cowboys.
Yeah, but Lenny, we all know how much emotion plays a part of the National Football League, and that game last week against the Phoenix Cardinals meant absolutely nothing, and the Giants played like
Chris, that's bull. And I saw that game, and the Cardinals kicked their butts up and down the field, and they showed if you stop the Giants' running game, you stop the Giants.
Hey, before we count the Giants out, let's not forget how this season has been going. Just when we think we got a handle on who's in control, got a good shot of going to the Super Bowl, they come crashing down. The Saints, early on, I thought they'd make it to the Super Bowl.
Hey, how about the mighty Steelers? And, of course, my high-flying Miami Dolphins.
And let's face it, the other team you picked to go to the Super Bowl, your beloved Kansas City Chiefs, didn't exactly look like world beaters.
You're right about that. How about the Broncos? You know, who would have thought Tampa Bay would go to Mile High Stadium and come away with a victory? But also faltering last week, the playoff-bound Giants, who went to Phoenix with a long winning streak, but wilted in the Arizona desert.
Give Joe Bugle credit. The beleaguered Cardinal head coach continues to battle on despite the doubts of even his beloved fans.
Where's Ditka at? Joe, you're a super nice guy. Class act all the way this year. Good luck next year, wherever you are.
He may not be going anywhere. Against the Giants, Bugle's Cards played with grit and determination. in what was an old-fashioned slugfest.
That's a good hit on 80. Try to strip him. Try to strip him. They're going to get some plays on us, guys, but they're not going to get all of it.
We're going to get them. We're going to beat them up. They're going to be hurting in the playoffs. They ain't going to win.
Indeed, the fired-up Cardinals did make the playoff-bound Giants look less like confident contenders and more like puzzled pretenders.
Okay, 2 times. Quarterback got hit once, and we got rushed on the last one. You got to slow that son of a down.
In the end, New York could not stop Ron Moore, the rookie running back who rushed for 135 yards and scored the game's go-ahead touchdown.
Yard line, ball's on the right side hash mark. Burline turns and he gives the ball to Moore again. Scampers to the near side. He's on the 15, cuts it back on the 10. He's on the 5. He drives to the goal line. He scores!
This week, the Giants meet the Cowboys for the NFC East title. But on this day, Joe Bugle may have saved his job. And it's obvious that many Cardinals have no doubts about that. Reasons were different, but ice was also prevalent in Cincinnati, where the Bengals frolicked with the fast-fading Falcons. David Klingler's career-high 3 touchdown passes included 2 to Carl Pickens, one coming in the game's final minute.
It's on the play clock. The game clock frozen at 1:05. And Carl's saying, I get the matchup. Get it over here. Looks for Pickens. Throws for Pickens. Caught! Touchdown! Cincinnati! And the Bengals have taken the lead.
Up next for the Bengals are the New Orleans Saints, who blew into windy Philadelphia last Sunday in hopes of breathing new life into their dying season.
High snap, but Eagles handles it. Gets it away. It is a floater. Hughes comes up, makes the catch. He's going to have a return. 25, 30, 35, 40. Cuts back along the near sideline, 45 midfield. He is down at the 30, at the 20, at the 15, 10. Tyrone Hughes with a touchdown.
Unfortunately for New Orleans, Tyrone Hughes' 83-yard punt return was their one gasp of greatness on a day when they came up choking. The Saints coughed up a pair of interceptions returned for touchdowns by Eric Allen and let Bubby Brister blow them away.
Phil Simms has been with the New York Giants for 15 years, and around here he's as familiar as the beautiful skyline that graces the Hudson River. Phil is 11 years older than his Dallas counterpart, Troy Aikman. They both join our Nick Buonicani.
Thank you, Lenny. We do have the 2 guys who should decide this outcome on Sunday. To Phil Simms, everybody paints the Giants as a one-dimensional team, that if you stop the running game like Phoenix did last Sunday, that you do stop the Giants. How do you answer this, Phil?
Well, I get tired of answering it. Really, I shouldn't have to answer it, because I think our record in the season, if you look at it, we've proven that we can do it either way. And we've won many games this year passing the football. I think we're an efficient passing football team. We do a good job with it. We don't make a lot of turnovers with it. But, of course, we are a running team. And to be a good running team, you got to run the ball a lot, and we do that. And, you know, you can't run it in there and get no gain and be like, oh, we got to throw it. We keep running the ball, and we have a lot of faith in it, and it's the core of our team, and, you know, I don't apologize for that.
To Troy Aikman, Phil and I really want to congratulate you for becoming the richest player in NFL history. That's $50 million richer. The question we have is, did Jerry Jones just endorse his check from Fox over to you?
No, not quite.
It's got to be a relief for you, though, Troy, to get that off your back.
Well, it really is. There's been discussions surrounding the renegotiation with my contract since really as early as August, and then discussions got a little more serious in late November, and it's nice to just finally be able to put it behind me and now just focus solely on football.
Let's talk about the game on Sunday. A couple of weeks ago, you played here against the New York Jets. I know there was a windy game, but the weather here has really deteriorated. It's gotten colder. It's gotten a lot windier. How are you going to deal with this on Sunday?
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, we were real fortunate the last time we were there, and that we got some good weather, and I think it might be asking too much to hope for that again this time around. But that's something we won't really know until we get into the ball game and see what the conditions are. I think that the one good thing about us offensively is that we are a well-balanced offense, and that we can run the ball and throw the ball very effectively. So I think that regardless of what the weather's going to be like, we'll be able to do some things and make some adjustments to counteract that.
Phil, I want to talk about Dave Meggett. I mean, every time I see him, he looks like he's the kind of guy, you get the ball in his hands, he has a chance to go all the way. Question I have is, why don't you get the ball in his hands more?
Well, I think we do a good job of getting the ball to Dave. He returns the kickoffs, returns the punts. I throw him some passes. We give him the ball in a run, and I don't know what else we can do. He's done a great job for us. Dave's a great person, great football player. But the big thing we always worry about, you give it to him too much, he could wear it out and he could get hurt. And I think so far, the first 15 games of the year, Dan Reeves and his staff has done a great job of spacing it out. And when we really need him, we've used him.
Troy, a great finish to the season, but when you were 0-2 in the beginning of the year, did you ever think that 3 months later that you'd be playing for home field advantage?
Well, I think we were all still pretty confident in our football team, and we felt that we would have a good season. Certainly starting off the year 0-2 puts you at a disadvantage, but we were able to get on a roll, a 7-game roll after that initial start. Then we had some setbacks against Atlanta and Miami, and now we're back on a roll and making this game the important game that we wanted it to be. But I think that all along that this football team has had confidence in where we were going to be, and fortunately some things have worked out for us. And now we are playing for home field advantage and a bye through the first round.
Well, one thing I can wish both of you guys is good luck on Sunday. You both deserve it, and I'm sure come February you guys will look at each other in Hawaii at the Pro Bowl. Thanks, Troy, and thanks for being on the show. Back to you, Lenny.
Troy Aikman, $50 million. Man, times have really changed. I can remember when I looked forward to preseason games because I got an additional $50. Well, two other multimillionaire quarterbacks started against each other on Christmas Day at Candlestick Park, but neither Warren Moon nor Steve Young would go the distance.
With their division title already gift-wrapped, it seemed nothing could spoil 49ers fans' festive Christmas Day celebration. Nothing until a Grinch showed up with a band of defensive Scrooges that stole every bit of holiday cheer from Steve Young and the Niners. Buddy Ryan's gang intercepted Young twice and had the quarterback seeing the type of stars you don't find on Christmas trees. Young was eventually removed from the game just to make sure he survived to see the new year, but not before his fumble set up the Oilers' only touchdown of the game.
For Gibbons in the flat at the 2 at the 1 touchdown. Ernest Gibbons from 1.
The Oilers wrapped up their 10th straight win, and this week they face the Jets in the Astrodome, where the conditions will be much cozier than the ones New York faced last Sunday.
It's a game day program here for the coldest game in Buffalo Bills history. Get your game day program here. Ooh, is it cold out here today? Enjoy the game. More than that, stay warm, because I'm freezing.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, the Arctic Circle has nothing on western New York today. The wind chill is about 35 below zero here at Rich Stadium and Orchard Park as the Bills and the Jets get ready to battle again in brutally cold conditions.
I found my seat, but I've had to clear out all this stuff. Look at this. Is this unbelievable? I want to do one thing. I want to slap the fools brought this damn team up here. That's what I want to do. I was chairman of the committee that built the stadium back in 1967. Tell you, nice place for a summer home. I don't know about a winter home, though.
It could have been worse. The snow is just missing us, they tell me. It's just to the south of us somewhere. It's probably good.
You see the stands up here? Look at some of the seats. They couldn't get them uncovered.
I'll be surprised there's 25,000 here.
Yeah. Oh, your parking lot's packed.
Say what?
Your parking lot's packed.
Is that right already? They're amazing if they do, then.
They'll be out here.
They really are.
It takes more than sub-zero wind chills to keep Buffalo's hardy fans away. More than 70,000 filled the frigid seats and watched the Bills march to a score on their opening possession.
And throwing on a pitch or throw Carwell Gardner. He drives, he is in, and he fumbled in the end zone, and he tries to leap on the ball. Let's see how they rule it. He had crossed the plane of the goal line. It will be a touchdown. All he had to do was break the plane, and he fumbled the ball in the red. And so the Bills have scored on a spectacular 71-yard drive into the wind.
After Thurman Thomas and the Bills nearly let their first scoring opportunities slip away, the Jets came back and showed they had a firm grip on their game plan. Get the ball to number 39, Johnny Johnson, who cut through the icy air for 175 yards of total offense. Johnson's score helped the Jets build a 14-13 lead and had them reveling in their ability to move the ball in the brutal conditions. The bone-chilling temperatures eventually turned the game into a battle of bone-jarring defense. Jets fell behind 16-14. It came down to kicker Kerry Blanchard, who hoped to avoid his third miss of the day with just under a minute to play.
The put down, the kick is up, and it is. They prevail here and win the AFC East title for the 5th time in 6 years.
Their division title in hand, the Bills can clinch home field throughout the playoffs with a win this Sunday in Indianapolis. Coming up, this week's cover story, Carlton Bailey, who survived the skeptics, and a talk with Giants head coach Dan Reeves.
Well, it may not be quite as cold here in Giant Stadium as it was in Buffalo, but I've got two guys that they don't care about the cold. Linebacker Michael Brooks, running back Rodney Hampton. Rodney, start with you. First of all, congratulations. Having a great year despite missing 4 games, almost to the 1,000-yard mark again this season. But last week against the Phoenix Cardinals, they shut your running game down a little bit, shut you down in particular. What happened in that game, and what's going to be different this week against the Cowboys?
Well, you know, Phoenix, you know, they have a great defense. They have big guys on the defensive line, and, you know, they just shut down the running game. So hopefully this week we have some kind of scheme where we can be able to run the ball.
Well, one of the guys that's going to be trying to shut down the running game of the Dallas Cowboys, Michael Brooks, but you've had a problem with your foot. How is it now? Will you be able to play?
Well, of course, a game like this, you know, you want to play in. A game with this magnitude, you want to be out there and show what you can do. So my foot is doing fine, and so I'll be out there Sunday and ready to play.
Rodney, one of the problems that you guys have had is up front, the offensive line. Jumbo Elliott has been out, probably your best offensive lineman. How big a factor is his loss in this game?
Well, you know, it's a big factor, but, you know, throughout the year we've been having guys banged up, you know, so I think we'll be able to rally if Jumbo's not there. We have other guys who will step up and do a great job.
Michael, of course, the storyline for the defense this game, can you guys shut down Emmitt Smith? He had over 100 yards the first time you played against him. What can you do differently to try and shut him down?
Well, it's going to be hard. I don't think we can shut him down. I think the main thing, we can contain him, pursuit to the ball, and having a lot of guys gain tackle him. And you know, he's got to be real physical against those guys. It's going to be tough for us defensively, so I think we just got to stay together and just hang in there. And he's going to make some plays against him. I think the main thing, we got to just stay together.
Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys defense. Last year, they were the #1 defense in the National Football League. This year, not quite as good without Dave Wanstead. Is there something on that defense that you can take advantage of?
Well, you know, earlier in the year, they wasn't playing well on defense, on defense side of the ball, but now, you know, they playing well again. But they want to look at film this week and see, you know, what can we take advantage of.
Michael, let me ask you about Dan Reeves. You played for him with the Denver Broncos and now with the Giants. A little controversy out there in Denver. He didn't get along with Elway. You know the whole story. Has he been any different here with the Giants?
Well, I think right now, Coach Reeves has been a little more laid back. He let the guys go out there and play football. I think right now we have a better team here than we had in Denver, and so he see the talent-wise that we have here is a lot better. He didn't have the running backs like he have here than he had in Denver, offensive line. So I think offensive-wise, he opened up the game for the offensive guys so they can make a lot of points, and so Rodney can get a lot of yards running the ball. So I think he's been a lot more confident in the scheme than the guys, the athletes that he have here.
Guys, best of luck. Very big game this week.
Thank you very much.
All right. I love that Bugs Bunny sweater, too. Lenny Dawson, you'd look good in that sweater.
Well, Chris, I probably would look good in a Bugs Bunny sweater, but I prefer the Christmas gift that my wife gave me. Well, you might say the Giants got one of their Christmas presents early. Carlton Bailey may have been a costly free agent, but as it turns out, the Giants have gotten plenty of bang for the buck.
After watching their team go through 2 disappointing seasons, New York Giant fans figured that in this new era of free agency, the team could simply buy its way back into contention. Yet when all the shopping was done, there were no Reggie Whites. The marquee signing was a relatively unknown linebacker named Carlton Bailey, who wasn't exactly on the top of any fan's wish list.
I was expecting a little bit more of a warm welcome, but I was in for a rude awakening.
Shortly after Bailey strolled into the Giants' locker room with his new $5.2 million contract, popular linebacker Pepper Johnson was cut.
Carlton came in, and he was the scapegoat, I think, to a lot of guys. He was the guy who took Pepper's job.
They actually felt like, well, it's Carlton's fault that the Giants released Pepper.
Carlton's locker's in the corner of the room, and he would sit there and just kind of hunker down like this and look real sad and kind of keep to himself, and the players would pretty much ignore him. A lot of guys would just ignore him, flat out not talk to him.
Bailey also felt pressured by those who questioned whether he, only a part-time starter last year in Buffalo, was worth so much money.
And then all of a sudden, you know, you had the media, and I had a whole bunch of people just coming down on me. And all of them were, at the beginning, I think, was really writing a lot of bad things about me. This guy is a bust. I don't know why they went out and spent all this money on this guy.
I called a bunch of GMs around the league, and they were saying, I think the Giants got snookered. I can't believe they got suckered by signing this guy for so much money.
Well, that was then, and this is now. Today, as the Giants head into the playoffs, it's clear that by letting Pepper Johnson and Carl Banks go and adding Bailey and former Bronco linebacker Michael Brooks, new head coach Dan Reeves and his staff were creating the nucleus for the Giants' defense of the future.
I think it was real important that everybody have a fresh, clean start and start anew with what we wanted to do. And we wanted to evolve around the people that wanted to be here and wanted to do the things we wanted to accomplish with them. And it just so happened that it took that route, and certain guys stayed and certain guys didn't.
Dan brought a lot of new players in, and luckily we started working well together right from the jump street. I think me and Bailey kind of set the road that we was the new guys on the block.
Bailey and Brooks have been teaching Mike Nolan's attacking defensive schemes to guys like Keith Hamilton and Corey Miller, young players who have stepped in to help make the Giants the NFL's 6th-ranked defense.
Coach Nolan's basic philosophy is this: to go out there and win your one-on-one. That's all he really talks about, your one-on-one battle. Once you win your one-on-one battle, then you can overcome everything else.
It took a while, but everybody's gelling together now. Everybody looking for now me and Bailey to make a lot of plays on the defense, and everybody stepped up, you know, their level.
And what about the player the Bills benched last year? Well, Carlton Bailey leads the Giants in tackles by far, and surprise, surprise, his teammates have warmed up a bit.
There's GMs, the same people who were saying the Giants made a mistake, are now saying he should go to the Pro Bowl.
I think probably after the Buffalo game was probably the time I might have had like 16, 17 tackles or something like that. And then all of a sudden the guys started to ease up a little bit.
And now players stop by and say hi, and I mean the perception is, the turnaround has been amazing.
Just goes to show you, winners are never short of friends.
Here with Giants head coach Dan Reeves. Many predict that he will be the coach of the year. Dan, the past 2 years, the Giants were 14-18. Then you come on the scene, and right now they're 11-4, and you're fighting for a spot in the Super Bowl. Congratulations on a great job so far.
Well, thanks, Nick. It's been fun. I think anytime you win, any coach will tell you got to have players, and these guys have done an awful great job of focusing in week by week on the next opponent, and you got to give them a lot of credit.
Now, we just saw a feature on Carlton Bailey, and I remember 2 years ago when he was playing with Buffalo, he had that interception for a touchdown, kept you guys out of the Super Bowl. Was it that play that prompted you to go out and sign him when he became a free agent up in Buffalo?
No, not really. I mean, we had played the Buffalo Bills, it seemed like every year since I've been a head coach, and always in Buffalo, but I'd seen Carlton play several times. That particular play really didn't stick out. When I came here, George Young and Tim Rooney, who are with our personnel here, had Carlton Bailey as one of the guys they were looking at as far as linebackers were concerned, and we looked at a lot of film on him, just thought he was a guy that could get better.
You were major name as a Cowboy player, had a great career with them, and then you coached with the Denver Broncos for 12 years. Now this week you're going to be looking across the field, you're going to be seeing the Dallas Cowboys again, really knowing that they're the obstacle that stands between you and a possible Super Bowl. How does that affect you?
Well, it's a tremendous challenge. First of all, look across and see the defending world champions, you know, is I think the biggest thing. But seeing that helmet with the little star on it that you wore for so many years as a player, and then, you know, coach for that organization, you got a lot of great memories of the Cowboys, and certainly the things that I believe in as far as our organization is concerned come from spending 16 years in Dallas with Coach Landry. So it's going to be kind of special, and the fact that we've got a chance to win a division championship is exciting. But we realize we got our work cut out for us because they really don't have any weakness. They're a really good, great football team.
I looked at that Dallas offense. I mean, they have so many offensive weapons. Everybody knows about them. But in your mind, must you stop Emmitt Smith first before you concentrate on guys like Irvin and Harper?
Well, I think that's the reason they're so tough. I don't know that you can concentrate on anybody. You got to play as well team defensive scheme as you can, because if you all of a sudden try to stop Irwin, then all of a sudden here comes Emmett, you try to stop both of them, and here comes Harper. You try to do that and stop the outside guys, and you got Novacek and Johnston coming out of the backfield. So they just got so many weapons. I think their offense puts so much pressure on your defense, but what people don't realize is they put a tremendous amount of pressure on the opposing team's offense to make you go out and try to put points on the board every time you touch it, because that's exactly what they do. There's very few times they have a possession they don't put the ball in position to score points, and if they don't, they make enough first downs that you usually got it backed up and have a long ways to go. So their offense does a great job of putting tremendous pressure on you.
I think the excitement's building for this game on Sunday. I think everybody's looking forward to it. Dan, I want to wish you a lot of luck this coming Sunday.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
Back to you, Lenny.
Michael Brooks says Dan Reeves is more laid back this season. Well, we'll see how relaxed the coach looks on the sideline this Sunday. But whatever happens, Reeves knows he's got a team going to the playoffs. And after victories last week, so do the Lions coach Dwayne Fonts and Green Bay's Mike Holmgren.
The frozen tundra, but it works to our advantage.
How?
For sure is in Venice Beach. Just come out of it alive and warm.
Hey, is anyone cold?
No! Get! The offensive line, you're playing the best defensive line you face this year for the playoffs! Shut him down! Marvel! D-line, O-line on 3! 1, 2, 3, 4!
In frigid temperatures reminiscent of the famous chilling championship of 1967, the Green Bay Packers clinched a playoff berth, and Sterling Sharp became the first receiver in NFL history to record a second 100-catch season.
Sharp comes in motion to this near side. Here's Favre back to throw it. Favre goes to the outside. It's caught by Sterling. Sterling gets away from the man at the 20, the 15, to the 10, to the 5.
All players in the history of this game, Jeff. Not many people could have turned that into a touchdown.
The Raider offensive line was overmatched as the Packer rush, led by number 64, John Yurkovich, was relentless and racked up 8 sacks.
Second down. Here's Evans back to throw on second down. They chase him out of the pocket. The screen, and he sets a screen up, and it's knocked down at the 38-yard line. A fumble. Tackle. Do the Packers have the ball? Apparently they do.
And they're going to give it to
Leroy Butler. There's a touchdown for Leroy Butler. And the Packers go up 20-0.
Now we got to stay in this till the last second now. Focus about what we want here. Yeah.
Favre, the quarterback. Favre on the ride. They're going to go straight up the middle to Darrell Thompson. Darrell Thompson at the 45. It's a race. It's a touchdown, Darrell Thompson. Oh, big play for the kid from Minnesota. That puts the Packers well out in front. It is 60 yards on the touchdown. The Packers have made it to the playoffs, and now next week it's for the division against the Detroit Lions.
Man, we're in the tournament.
Yeah.
Right now, hey, it's just the start now. You know, you worked so hard to get this thing done this year, and we haven't done it easy one time. I am so proud of you, I can't put it into words. But you know the thing we talked about last night at the meeting about staying together, fighting, overcoming obstacles, taking believers out of people who didn't think we could get it done? And it's been 25 years. Okay? It's been 25 years. Congratulations to each and every one of you.
In Chicago, the Bears were left in the playoff cold as the Detroit Lions devoured over-anxious blitzers like number 59 rookie Joe King. Behind 2 touchdown passes from Eric Kramer, the schizophrenic Lions, horrid one week, good the next, were good enough to defeat the Bears 20-14. And this Sunday play the Green Bay Packers for the NFC Central Division crown. There were no crowns in the hats of either the Browns or the Rams. 2 teams dropped into the NFL remainder bin. A dank, dark place reserved for the fumble fingers. Browns have been more naughty than nice. Quarterback Vinny Testaverde set an NFL single-game accuracy record, completing 21 of 23 passes. Browns defeated the Rams 42-14, and the most spectacular play was turned in by Mark Carrier, who was standing in for All-Pro punt returner Eric Metcalf.
Carrier drifting to his right, has it at the Cleveland 45, across the 50, into the 40, and Mark Carrier's gone! How about that? If that isn't a good Eric Metcalf imitation, I don't know what is.
This week, the victorious Browns play the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, it certainly is beautiful here in New York City, but cold. Gary Myers, you're lucky to be in Dallas today, believe me. I've got to ask you, though, about the Dallas Cowboys. They signed Troy Aikman to that $50 million contract, and I couldn't help but wonder, how did Emmitt Smith react to that?
Well, Chris, when I talked to Smith this week, he says he doesn't begrudge Aikman the money at all. He has no problem with Troy. But I think this opened up some old wounds of what happened over the summer. He had to hold out 2 games into the season to get what he felt was fair market value. Then 3 months later, he turns around and Aikman gets a $50 million contract. He's wondering why he had such a hard time getting his deal done. Jerry Jones said the fact that Aikman was under contract made his negotiations less public, but no easier than getting the deal done with Smith.
Well, other than Emmitt, how is the mood of the Cowboys as they get ready for this big game?
Very upbeat. In fact, Jimmy Johnson said the swagger is back in the team, that they feel good about themselves. He feels good about the team. And by winning on Sunday and winning the NFC East and getting home field straight through, he says they have a chance to wipe the slate clean of all distractions that happened during the year, the Smith holdout, Troy Aikman's injury, Charles Haley being hurt, and that fiasco on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, let's talk about the other team in this game, the Giants. Here's a football team that just seems to be so much improved, and the mood here seems to be so much better under Dan Reeves.
Chris, I've never seen anything like I did in the locker room in the Giants over the past 2 years under the Ray Hanley administration. It was chaos every day. Every day you would walk in and there would be another controversy. Players were saying there was enough going on last year, enough distractions to last an entire career. This year, there's hardly been any players complaining, which I think is a direct reflection of the influence Dan Reeves has over this team and the respect that the players have for him.
Well, the focus right now is on their coach, Dan Reeves, but soon it is going to be on general manager George Young. They've got some key free agents to sign.
George Young took a completely different approach signing his potential free agents as most other teams did. He didn't sign anybody before that deadline last week, and his philosophy really was he didn't want to create any distractions as the season was coming down the home stretch. But the Giants have a ton of free agents on February 18th, including 6 of their top 7 offensive linemen. Only Jumbo Elliott is signed out of that group. So it was a gamble on Young's part that if he doesn't sign anybody before February 18th, he could lose a bunch of players next year.
All right, Gary, we'll see you a little later on in the pick segment.
Okay, Chris.
Hopefully we'll both do a little better because last week was a week crawling with upsets. Our highlights continue now as we show you the Chiefs and the Steelers getting spanked on the road.
Bill Cowher's Steelers traveled to Seattle, still in contention for a wild card playoff berth. However, the only team that played like there was something at stake was the Seahawks, who had seen their playoff hopes vanish long ago. Seattle's John Vaughn, number 22, ran roughshod through Pittsburgh's top-ranked defense for 131 of their 267 rushing yards. The game's only touchdown came through the air. Green's touchdown and 3 John Casey field goals gave the Seahawks all the points they would need, as the Steelers lost control of their playoff destiny in a disheartening 16-6 setback. Steelers season could end against Cleveland this week, while the Seahawks season will end this Sunday against a Kansas City Chiefs team that is still smarting from the groove that the Vikings put on them last week.
Pardon me? A little DOS effects, a little music to get the blood going. Gets the blood going. Everybody has their own way, I guess.
What's the best pregame music?
A little hardcore, lot of beats, driving bass. Something gets, like you said, get the attitude up. This one you don't need the attitude up. This is do or die.
While the Chiefs were already in the playoffs as division champions, the Vikings desperately needed to win.
Tell Montana. Tell them to let us win tonight so we can go to the playoffs.
Once the game began, Montana and the Chiefs began passing out presents like Santa Claus.
Montana drops back, looks left, cocks his arm. There's a line drive pass. Picked off. Intercepted.
Interceptions and the fumble put Kansas City in a deep hole. where the Vikings would bury them with a ton of big plays.
The end around, fake end around by McMahon. Winds up, arches a pass down the middle of the field, and over the shoulder catch with the defender crawling on his back. A great catch by Chris Carter.
Jim McMahon passed for 2 scores to Chris Carter as Minnesota routed Kansas City 30-10.
Man throws an arching pass into the end zone, and over the shoulder, lunging touchdown.
The win left the Vikings 1 victory away from the playoffs.
One more game, but that was my last home game right there. Felt I did what I had to do to be successful. And after this, they can no longer call me a rookie.
The victory set up a matchup with the Redskins, a team that had the unfortunate task of facing the Dallas Cowboys in Texas Stadium last Sunday. Against the Redskins, the Cowboys came out with all of their guns blazing. With Emmitt Smith rushing for 153 yards, Dallas won their 4th straight game, and all seems in order for another Dallas run at the Super Bowl.
Play fake, bootleg right, looking, nobody open. Throws it on the dead run, touchdown, of course, to Michael Irvin.
It was the most lopsided defeat in the history of this fierce Dallas-Washington rivalry. When it mercifully ended, Dallas had a 38-3 victory.
Williams takes it at the 38, left 45.
Ahead for Dallas, the New York Giants, and a winner-take-all battle for the championship of the NFC East. Where are they now? Ex-Viking super safety Paul Krause and the head coach of the defending Super Bowl champions, Jimmy Johnson.
We all know that going into the playoffs, you want to be playing your very best in all phases of the game. Judging from the highlights of the Washington-Dallas game, the Cowboys have it all going their way. That was no contest. And, Nick, I'm sure Giants fans hope that this Sunday the weather is lousy.
Lenny, the Cowboys are right where they want to be. The New York fans think that the weather's going to equalize the game. They're wrong because great teams find a way to win in bad weather. The only chance that the Giants have is if they control the line of scrimmage and they get back their best offensive lineman, Jumbo Elliott, who's been out with a back problem. If Phil Simms comes up 2nd and 7 and 2nd and 8, the only question in the game is by how much will the Cowboys beat the Giants?
Well, I disagree with what you said about the weather. I think it's going to play a big factor because the only real difference between these two teams is the passing game of the Dallas Cowboys. They're almost mirror images as far as the running game and the defenses are concerned. So if the wind and the cold can neutralize Aikman and Irvin and Harper, I think the Giants have a real shot to win this one at home.
I agree that Phil Simms knows the wind conditions here at Giants Stadium better than Troy Aikman, but Aikman has a stronger arm. Besides, a couple of weeks ago, Aikman and the Cowboys came up here and beat the Jets easily. Besides that, a little information for you. He's from Oklahoma. The wind always blows in Oklahoma. Who's going to win this game?
Well, I don't want to take anything away from the job that Dan Reeves has done with the New York Giants, but I just look at Jimmy Johnson as being the best big game coach in the National Football League. I think he pulls off another one. I like the Cowboys.
The Giants are the best rushing team in the National Football League, right? The right side of that offensive line, Bob Cratch, Doug Riesenberg doing a great job. Now, if they have to throw the ball, the Cowboys do not sack quarterbacks. They are 25th in the league. Charles Haley, their best rusher, may see some action, but if so, on a limited basis. They're 6-1 here. They'll be 7-1. I like New York.
You know, Lenny, this is a game of big names, and we know big contracts. You know, about John Madden is talking about Aikman, Irvin, and Smith. I think a little-known wide receiver and punt return man by the name of Kevin Williams is going to be the big play guy and the game breaker for the Cowboys. I like Dallas.
A well-known player by the name of Dave Meggett for the Giants will make some big plays in that contest. You know, we've been talking about offensive threats, and even a month ago, many of us marveled at the scoring potential of the Miami Dolphins. But as Nick Buoniconti predicted, the Dolphins have been unable to escape from a long, long slide.
Last Monday night in San Diego, Don Shula was hoping for a win to clinch a wild card spot. The Chargers, however, had other ideas, and with a couple of big plays, ran away with the game.
Natrone Means nowhere to go, slips through the hole, goes to the 40, streaks.
Natrone Means' 65-yard run was matched only by Anthony Miller's Hail Mary catch at the end of the half.
Back to throw, 2nd down and long, looks, launches it deep, throwing it into triple coverage in the end zone. It's going to be tipped off, and it's caught, touchdown!
San Diego never let up, totaling a season-high 45 points.
They pick it up, goes to the back of the end zone to Miller, caught it! Touchdown! Down in 10. Harmon is a running back. Everybody into the pattern. Humphries to throw, caught by Harmon at the 10, to the 5.
Chargers will try for another offensive onslaught this week against Tampa Bay, who last Sunday took John Elway and the Broncos completely by surprise. Few gave the Bucs a chance against Denver, but this time the mile-high miracle was a Tampa Bay upset. Dave Moore's score on a 14-yard toss to Courtney Hawkins knocked the Broncos out. Bucs win is a rare sight, almost as uncommon as a Patriots victory, but last Sunday with the wind chill factor of -21, New England was triumphant. Colts had trouble finding their footing and never found the end zone, while the Patriots moved up and down the field for 400 total yards and 38 points.
4th and 1, the give to Russell to the right, pounds it in, drives it in, there it is. Touchdown, Leonard Russell!
New England recorded its first shutout since 1987. This week, Bill Parcells and the Patriots will go for their 4th straight win when they host Miami.
The Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center remains one of the most popular tourist sites in New York City, despite the frigid temperatures of recent days. And leading a group of unwelcome tourists about to arrive from Dallas, Cowboys head coach Jimmy Johnson. He's with Chris.
Thank you, Lenny. And, Coach, thank you very much for being with us. Got to ask you, though, has this been a tougher year for you to coach? Last year it just seemed like everything fell into place. This year you've got the contract holdout with Emmett. Everybody seems to be negotiating some kind of a new deal. You lost your defensive coordinator. Has it been tougher this year?
Well, Chris, it has been tougher. I think we're experiencing this year what most teams experience every year. Last year, it was pretty well a year where we made progress every week. We really avoided the major injuries, didn't have holdouts, and went on and won the Super Bowl. This year, situation, we had horrible weather games. We lost our star quarterback for a couple of weeks. We've lost really our best pass rusher for about half the season, and so we've experienced everything this year, and yet our guys are still in position to go ahead and win the division and get home field advantage.
Well, one other thing, you also had to jump on your coaching staff a few weeks back. How much have you missed Dave Wannstedt as your defensive coordinator this year?
Well, we've missed him. I think Butch Davis, my coordinator now, is doing an outstanding job. But when you have changes like what we had this year, you really lose something because my coaching staff was with me for about 10 or 15 years, and you really don't overcome that in just 6 or 7 months' time in picking up some new coaches. I think our guys are working at it. I think we've made progress, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I think that we're going to be fine in time, but you just don't replace 10 or 15 years of experience of working together in just a short period of time.
And this week, the big game against the Giants, you also lost a couple of key guys. Mark Stepnoski, Charles Haley's been struggling with that back injury. Is this team now as good and as prepared as you were going into the playoffs last year?
Well, I think we're close. I think, a lot of people look at our team last year and they remember the Super Bowl game. They remember how we played in the playoffs against San Francisco and Philadelphia. But during the season, we struggled throughout the year, and I think that we're in position to play as well as what we did a year ago, but we still have to win this game with the Giants.
Well, Coach, they say if you can stop the running game of the New York Giants, that you can beat this football team. Is that your plan going into this one?
Well, that's part of the plan, but the biggest way to stop the running game of the Giants is to score points yourself. The first game, we scored 17 points in the first 3 drives and got them out of the ball possession, field position type of a mode. They had to open up their offense, and I think that exposed them a little bit. We've got to score some points early. We've got to stop the run defensively, but we've got to do well offensively as well.
All right, Coach, I know you want to get back and do a little jogging there today with your personal trainer. Best of luck to you this weekend.
Thank you, Chris.
Lenny, back to you.
Jimmy Johnson did a terrific job last year, but I think he's done a better job this year overcoming a lot of adversity, and he has them in position to win their 2nd Super Bowl in a row. Not too long ago, when the Minnesota Vikings had a team that would reach 4 Super Bowls, the Purple People Eaters had a safety without equal, Paul Krause.
From 1964 to 79, with the Redskins and Vikings, Paul Krause was a master thief, and his jewels were flying footballs. He intercepted, stole 81 passes, an NFL record.
It means a great deal to me because I have done something that nobody has ever done in football. And it's something that I know that I've done, and they can't take it away from me. The writers or anybody, they cannot take that record away from me.
When he retired to the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, Krause made a dramatic switch from stealing to buying. He went into business for himself, developing a knack for finding profit in unlikely places.
I buy and sell. And basically, I'll buy and sell anything that I can afford if it's a good deal. I bought Atlas Auto Parts a couple of years ago because I thought it was a good deal and it's a good business to be in. We'll buy anything, any type of a car, from foreign cars to regular General Motors, Fords, or whatever, in almost any year. We'll take the cars in, we'll part the cars, take the engines out, the trannies out, the axles out, anything that is a good part, we'll take those out of the car and store them, put them in storage, and try to sell them, of course. I bought and sold a lot of real estate over the years. I have developed 5 different residential areas, single family. This is 89 Oxford. It's a 4-plex that I bought and renovated for my daughter to live in while she was attending William Mitchell Law School. And we renovated it. It's over 100 years old. And now that we've renovated, we'll try to go on to something else. I bought Pinewood Golf Course here about 9 years ago. It was a golf course that wasn't doing very well. When I bought the golf course, I also got the lots. And I thought it'd take me about 4 years to get all the lots developed, and that's what it did. It took me 4 years. So we're all very happy with it.
Paul, here's the new color things for Value America.
Oh, they look good. Value America is a concept that is just coming out right now. We provide a way for charitable organizations to earn money. And it is a coupon book that has all of the national food services and food chains. And we sell the book to a charitable organization, and they in turn sell it to their customers.
Paul's business partner also happens to be his wife.
My wife, Pam, we have known each other since we were 4 years old in Michigan. She's my best friend, too. And we spend an awful lot of time together, and she's a very good business person.
Now that their 3 children are growing, Paul and Pam recently moved to a smaller house astride a country club. The kids, growing up now, like to visit.
My family is the most important thing to me, and that's why I like to spend a lot of time with them, and I'm proud of each and every one of them.
Paul Krause, he's always taken pride in being a step in front of the competition.
Many players have a difficult time finding a purpose outside of football. You just saw that Paul Krause is not one of them. Neither is Warren Moon, who in this week's Player Diary talks of a cause and an organization close to his heart.
Well, you've caught me at my other job, where my staff says I spend entirely too much time. But the Crescent Moon Foundation is very dear to me. It helps give me perspective, and it keeps me focused outside the artificial world of football. I caught a couple of breaks growing up, and it was organizations like my foundation that gave me the opportunity to become who I am today. One solution in a world full of problems is education, and I was determined that if I ever reached a position to give back something, it would be in the form of educational opportunities. It's tough growing up in the inner city. Role models and mentors are hard to come by. But when kids reach out, we must be there to provide a helping hand. Today I feel like a proud father because our first class of Foundation Scholarship recipients are getting ready to graduate. 20 students from universities across the country will complete their education and hopefully pass the torch of education and opportunity to others. About that big game in the Meadowlands this weekend, you know us Texans from the Lone Star State, we stick together. So I'm pulling for the Cowboys this weekend in an all-Texas Super Bowl in Atlanta.
Warren Moon says an all-Texas Super Bowl. That means his ribs are feeling better because I think they're going to have to go through Buffalo once again to get there.
The disaster. Yeah.
We have to go through the pick segment here to find out
That's
how
right.
we did that.
I hate this.
I love this. I'm loving it more every week.
All right. Nick was the best last week for the season. Hey, Gary, Nick, a tie. Okay, this is the big week to determine who's going to be winner for the regular season. Earlier in the show, we selected the Giants-Cowboys game. Gary likes the Giants. Now it's time to pick the rest of the games. Buffalo will clinch home field throughout the playoffs by beating Indianapolis. Pittsburgh will defeat Cleveland. Chris, though, likes the Browns. Phoenix will finish 7-9 by defeating Atlanta. Kansas City will take care of Seattle, San Diego downing Tampa Bay. Chicago will end the season 8-8 by beating the Rams. New Orleans will defeat Cincinnati, according to Gary and Nick, not according to Chris and Len, though. And San Francisco will finish with the victory over the pesky Eagles. Now, for some of the more marquee matchups. Denver at the Los Angeles Raiders. Raiders need a victory to clinch the playoffs. Gary, let's start with you.
Okay, Lenny, the Raiders have become a totally one-dimensional team. They cannot run the ball, and their quarterback, Jeff Hostetler, is coming off with concussion. I like Denver in this game.
Well, the Raiders just got trampled last week up in Green Bay, but they have a defense and they have speed. The speed was negated by the cold field in Green Bay. I like the L.A. Raiders in their defense.
Yeah, and the Raiders have the #1 pass defense in the National Football League, very strong at the defensive line and cornerback position. I think they match up well with L.A. I like the Raiders, too.
I like the Raiders as well, particularly because of that speed on the outside. Green Bay at Detroit. The winner gets NFC Central and a home game next week. Gary, what do you think?
Well, Lenny, these two teams will probably play again next week. I like the Packers because last week their defense really turned it on. 8 sacks to the Raiders. Darrell Thompson rushed for over 100 yards. I think they'll beat the Lions and win the Central.
Well, Eric Kramer just totally changes that Lions offense. I mean, those guys were wide open in a very, very cold day against the Bears. It's a totally different team, but it's the defense of the Green Bay Packers that makes a difference in this ball game. I do like the Packers.
I love the way he talks about it, Detroit.
That's right. You know, everybody talks about the Packers' defense, but offensively now that offensive line is doing a much better job of protecting Brett Favre, and maybe part of the reason he's not throwing the interceptions he did at one time. I like the Green Bay Packers.
You hit the key right there. Brett Favre is making the right decision, not throwing interceptions. I like Green Bay as well. Miami is at New England. Miami needs a victory for the playoffs. Gary, how do you see this game?
Well, Len, I think the Dolphins are right now in an irreversible tailspin. They've lost 4 games in a row. The last 2 games, they've given up over 90 points. And really, if you look at the last half of the season now, the Patriots have won 3 in a row, and their previous 6 games, they lost all 6, but only by a total of 20 points. I think Bill Parcells will get the Patriots a victory in this game.
Hey, one thing the Patriots have had all year long, they've had a defense, and they still have it now. They're turning Russell loose, and the offensive line is blocking for Bledsoe. I like the Patriots.
Yeah, the big question mark all season long has been the offense of the Patriots, but boy, did they put on a show last week. I think New England continues. I like the Patriots, too.
Longest winning streak in 5 years.
That's
3
right.
games. And do they have that guy with the snow plow still up there? Yeah, I like the Patriots as well. On